Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hari Paratman Ahala Haur Maas Karyasdan Ho Hari Paratman Ahala Haur Maas Karyasdan Ho. So we're going to do a live on the Great Awakening. I just saw a wonderful series of videos of a gentleman from Spain called Axel Pons, P-O-N, Axel, like an X, Axel, A-X-E-L. And I think he was a motorcycle or a racer. Yeah. Beautiful, absolutely stunning GQ, cheekbones, jawline, stunning man who decided to walk from Spain to Pakistan barefoot and do a pilgrimage. It's very similar to El Camino, except we're talking about Spain to Pakistan. Not so much the same, but intense, like super intense. And when you have people like, what you call it? When you have people like Harold's fasting, and the most kind, gentle soul, all he wants to do is fast for 40 days, and people are freaking out and taking down his videos and harassing him, and people doing duets to shame him, or not duet stitchings to shame him, to say he's crazy. When you trigger people that much, you're on the right track, because you're scaring the status quo. When you scare the status quo, you start realizing that you are shaking up people's comfort zone. And so we're upon the Great Awakening, which is fantastic. It's going to get even more beautiful in 2025. My prediction for 2025 is that we are in greater alignment. Many will lean away from the alignment because they are into the status quo. They want their McDonald's and they want their fries and they want to supersize it. And then there's us who are leaning towards a new earth. And we don't give a fuck about fries. And what we want is freedom. And if it means giving up fries with that shake, we will give up the fries with that shake. It's all about alignment to a greater, higher purpose for freedom. And freedom means you don't pay to live. Freedom means that you actually live the way you want to live. And this is sad for me. The sad part is that right now there are young people. For them to be free means they have to completely disconnect from the grid, from the matrix, where they live hand to mouth like ascetics, like what Buddha did when he left being a prince as Siddhartha, when he left the castle, the palace actually, and he had a begging bowl. A begging bowl is when, I don't know if you guys know that, a begging bowl is when a person would actually have a bowl and he would go to householders, and the householders would give whatever they would have leftovers, okay, to a holy man or holy woman. And what's happening right now in other words, the price to get off the grid is that Axel Pons, I believe, or Pros, I believe his name is. Axel, you can look at it. I just reposted a whole bunch of videos on him being cited. And it's funny, too, because if you've ever seen the Shroud of Turin, and I'm not saying he's Jesus, don't get it twisted. I'm not. However, be funny if he was. But anyway, because no one would believe it anyway. So this is why I love this. The second coming, the second, you guys wouldn't believe if it happened anyway. Let's be honest. He'd still be harassed. That's why we are fractals of Mary Magdalena and Yeshua. Fractals. Each of us have a piece of that energy that we were given as a light code to be the fucking lions that needs to happen for the Great Awakening. He's not coming in the physical form. We kind of saw what happened the last time. And you really think it would be different? Be honest. Look at who's handling the planet. They can't even keep children safe. You think they're going to keep a grown man that's going to say, you guys are fucking up safe? I don't think so. So, being that I'm brutally honest, I'm going to talk about the fact that a lot of young people born around 2000, 1990, I'm getting 1997 to now. Many of them are just saying fuck it and walking the planet on whatever they got, living in vans by a choice, or crossing the mountains on foot, going from one side of this country to the next. There's a young guy, he's in his 30s. He's a cowboy type of dude. And he lives, right now he's living in a teepee. And you probably know him. And he's got a beard and caramel blonde type of hair, like chestnut hair, kind of longish. And he has a mule and 2 horses. And for the last 10 years, he's been living like that, successfully, happily. And so when you see Axel walking from Spain to Pakistan barefoot, in fact, there's a video I reposted where he literally lifts his foot and said, I've been without shoes for 6 years. This man had money up the ass, posed for magazines. I didn't even know he... This man had money up the ass, posed for magazines. I didn't even know he existed until physically is basically given up everything to find his truth, not his peace. I wouldn't say his peace, his truth. So you may want to kind of go deep diving. It's not going to be a big deep dive, but there's something very beautiful about you'll see him with dreadlocks and beautiful amulets in his hair, and he's grown his hair out to dreadlocks, and he's walking across, the Middle East right now. And the people are curious, and they're curious and they're careful, like there's something wrong with him. Anyway, 2025 is going to be a year where you're going to see a lot more of this, and you might actually get the urge to do it yourself, where you just, it's not that you give up the bullshit, you give up the illusions, the trappings. And many of us are going to open our lands for community, and we're going to just start opening our doors and consciously creating communities that are off grid, and where we grow our own food, and we eat by the seasons. And in America specifically, kind of using the Native American wisdom to how we eat and how we process, how we fast, how we hibernate, how we help ourselves to our healing, how we have long meditations within ourselves and within a small group. Yeah, this is going to be important. So, if you haven't already found your tribe and so forth, then obviously this is your notice to start getting serious about this, because I know that you're not happy, really truly happy in everything that's around you. That doesn't mean don't be grateful for what you have. Don't get confused about that. Be grateful for what you have, and then visualize what you really would make you feel free and at peace in your heart, which is not getting up and doing your 9 to 5 and going to those bullshit meetings, which when I was going to these corporate meetings, I would call them beatings, not meetings, because they were beatings, because it was never enough. There was never the goal. We couldn't make $10 million because then the goal was now 13 million, and we couldn't do 13 million because now the goal was 16 million, and it was on and on and on. It never ended. And there's an avarice that's been normalized. It's like a disease. It's like a parasitical energy. It's no wonder most people are on all kinds of fucking meds just to keep it together, from Xanax to fucking, God knows, popping all kinds of shit to just keep it together. And then throwing down a glass of wine to just, solidify that lobotomy. So, to be honest, there's a lot of shit going on in a good way. And so you're going to see people imploding, people having nervous breakdowns in 2025. I'm not joking. But many of you will be there to help them get off their knees and to see the light, to see other ways of living. There's other ways to exist. There's beautiful ways. And community is going to be our epicenter. This is what they're afraid of. This is why they've done this divide and conquer, single mothers. There was a movie. It was about an African-American woman. I think the name of the movie was either Claudine or Claudia. I'm trying to remember the movie. I didn't really like the movie, obviously. It was in the 1970s. I was a kid. I didn't want to fucking watch that. But I remember a scene where She had a man, the father of her son, her children. She had 2 kids, excuse me. I think she had 2 or 3 kids. And the father of those kids was there, right? He was present, but he wasn't part of the welfare. She couldn't get the money unless she was a single mother. So every time he came, every time they would come, oh, of course, let's violate the guidelines. Of course, I'm sorry, I just got a notice from TikTok, violating the guidelines, because I'm telling you about a woman who was on welfare in the 1960s, 70s, and who, because TikTok, God forbid I should offend anyone with that one, but the reason, one of the ways families were destroyed was because the movie talked about it, kind of like John Q about healthcare. Anyway, and she, every time she thought they were coming at her door to do, let's make sure there's no man in the house. Let's make sure there's no person outside from what we're paying you for your welfare money. She'd have to get him out of the house. She'd have to hide his shoes, throw shit under the bed, and hide that his presence were there. The shaver, the this, the that. And she was in a panic going, hang on, I'm putting on my dress. And she would hide him in the closet. And then this person would be able to come in and do their interview and walk through to make sure that she was still going to receive her welfare check. That was done by design to make sure that fathers were pushed out onto the street. And it would be, and that kind of stress would create frustration in the woman. Rightly so, because her thought pattern would be, why can't you take care of us so I don't have to do the welfare, which is valid. It's a valid frustration. And she would, at some point, a woman would, because it's normal, stress upon stress. A woman's going to say, get the fuck out of my house. Just fuck you. You're fucking albatross. Get the fuck out of my house. And that would create the final disparity. Now, remember, this was during Jim Crow. This show was, and it slipped into affirmative action. Why am I saying that? Because if you look at everything that they have done to divide and conquer, like women not being pregnant till the literally the last day of leaving work, right? Because they had to get every dollar had to be amassed, because they knew that once they went to give birth, there would be no money, because the government would not send them money to take care of them while they were in the hospital after giving birth and protecting their jobs. I can't tell you how many women I saw in the 80s and 90s losing their jobs because they were pregnant, being fired. That's a divide and conquer strategy. So here you see this orb, this beautiful orb that I am borrowing as an image for this particular live. So now we have orbs. Meanwhile, we've been doing all kinds of stuff with APAC and other situations. You've all heard of it. And we've been doing some fucking horrific things in the name of liberty. Can you imagine the balls? And so now we're shocked that we have, and don't confuse drones with orbs. They're totally fucking different. Even Bethany Franklin is talking about how she has to talk in codes because they took down one of her videos. I mean, I'm laughing, and you should too, with joy, because what they don't understand is we can't wait till some of them land and basically say, game over. You don't run this place anymore. We do. Most of us don't give a fuck. Many of us are fearless. And there's something about this philosophy as when you've taken everything a man or woman has and they have nothing to lose. I think many of us can agree we're already there. We have nothing to lose. Whereas the 1% has everything to lose. Their status, their money, their amassing of crypto, their titles, this Pac-Man mentality that they have of buying everything up, making it impossible for a basic family to afford a house, things like that. That shit's over. And so it's interesting. We're not harmed. We're not going to be harmed. You don't think by the time they came that they could do whatever the hell they wanted. So we're not going to be harmed. But trust me, or else they would have done it by now. There's none of that happening at all. We're safe. We're safer now than we've ever been, to be honest. That's the funny thing. And it's funny, I did a live about, I think it was like 2 months ago, I think it was around late October, November. And they had announced that the Anunnakis were coming back. And I remember making a joke saying, At this point, we don't care. I hope they arrive. It could be a false flag, whatever. But apparently, no. Here we are. We got globes all over, these orbs all over New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And so what does it all mean? Well, it means that the cavalry has come. And why am I saying that? Well, because if they wanted to harm us, they would have by now, as I already said. And we're in a good place. Also, they're watching us ascend. They're watching us wake up. They're watching us. They already know what the assholes have been doing. Okay? They already know. But they are seeing how far we'll make it. Are we going to trust our hearts? Are we going to listen to others like myself, like your own heart and the way you discuss things? Are other people going to listen to us and really decide to lean into their hearts, into their spirituality? And it's interesting how this young man, Axel, has been walking for 6 years. It looks like it, for 6 years, thereabouts. 6 years of walking across Europe, I guess, into the Middle East, I suppose. And wow. And I remember telling you in a few lives that there were people out there you'll never meet that have been holding sacred space and the grids for this planet. They've been doing it for centuries. And so we're in a really beautiful time, 2025, as I told you, 9. Remember, I told you all about the number 9. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a video on that. You can check it out. There's something absolutely magical that is upon us. And honestly, I've been like meditating, asking for orbs to come over my house, to be honest. I would love it. I'd be so honored. And I would communicate with them telepathically. And so I urge you to do the same. Attract these incredible, some people are calling them archangels, some people are calling them plasmoids, whatever. When we're not in these bodies, we're plasmoids. In some of our incarnations, we are actually more plasmoid. Sometimes we're like this electric spark of energy. So, but we are consciousness, no less, unencumbered by this false ego, the monkey mind, and the density of this planet. Imagine, it's like they're showing me scuba diver, but not a scuba diver, a deep sea diver. Do you know what I'm saying? The difference? They have these heavy metal masks around their faces, and they're being held down by massive weights that look like astronauts under the ocean. In a way, going into taking in these bodies is very similar to that. So the fact that we're able to actually hack out of these metal suits, these metal cages, the monkey mind, it's a fucking miracle. Okay. And we are so blessed to be here now, to see this and to experience this, so that we can actually release a lot of some scars, a lot of very dense karma, both good and bad. Even good karma can keep you trapped. Why? Because good karma would be you taking on karma to save your family, your friends, going, oh my God, I'm ascending. I don't want to leave them behind. And so I'm going to stay behind. So I'm going to take on karma so I can stay behind, so I can be there to help them. And you're missing the point. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to keep ascending and realize that their time will come, and their time is not your time. And you have to respect that, honor that, and honor that in you ascending, you're helping them with your frequency. Eventually they'll be pulled to you when it's time. But also people have soul contracts they have to finish up with other people. It has nothing to do with you. So taking on good karma to stay behind is not the plan. And please don't do that. And I know a lot of you have thought about that. Like, what do? I don't want to stay behind. I don't want to be, I don't want to stay behind, but I also don't want to leave them behind. Speak the truth, and TikTok is blinded forward. Yeah, I mean, all of us, I'm happy that the holy war is upon us. There was a great white throne judgment. My friend, this is not a war that you think. But I guess you have terms that you're using, and symbolistic terms that you're using to make, to give you that sense of Messiah and stuff like that. So, but it's not the new age. We're coming back to a new earth. Let's not, again, terms, language. New age is a joke. Ancient wisdom is what we're basically reclaiming, number one. Number two, we are claiming the new earth. We are going into 560 dimensional consciousness. The planet continues. There is no judgment. In fact, judge no one. Okay? And forgive yourself and forgive others. And that's it. And love yourself in spite of your shadows. In fact, because of your shadows, love yourself. As a matter of fact, and take those shadows and say, am I this? Am I that? Would I do this today? Would I harm another human being like I did in these past lives today? No. The answer is no. Good. Then you're good to go. Forgive yourself for you did not know what you were doing. Forgive yourself and love yourself. And don't judge other people who refuse to wake up. It's frustrating. Don't get me wrong. Massively frustrating. Because it's like, what the fuck? I mean, what are we supposed to do here with these people? But nothing. We're supposed to do nothing. We're supposed to just move in our own light. And those who are attracted to our light and we're attracted to theirs, we will create communities. And they will be bonded with integrity and generosity and support and love and abundance for all of us. I mean, that's what we're looking to do. Does that make sense? So that's what I want you guys to understand. This is not going to be a long live, honestly. There's not much else to say. It's going to be basically just do your 369. In your meditations, thank the presence of the new earth. Thank for all that's happening. Be in gratitude for what you have now. And then visualize what you want to experience in the present tense. And I keep repeating myself with these instructions, but it's because I really want you to start doing it, And then just have faith. Faith and love in your path. Faith and love how many years you have on this planet, and do the best you can, the very best for yourself and others. And when people are blocking you or trying to suppress you, oppress you, like that guy, Harold's fasting, the guy's just fucking fasting. That's all he's doing. And they're removing his videos, and the stitches are ugly. People going, oh my God, and just putting him down instead of going, holy fuck, it can be done on water. What's wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with that? How is this wrong? There's nothing wrong with it. Buddha did it. Yeshua did it. Other great souls have done it. It's been done. And it does shift your consciousness. I was on a juice fast for 16 days. And that's not a long time, okay? Because people have done it for 40 days, 45 days, 60 days, fruit, juice, and vegetable juice. So it's not a big deal. But I can tell you that on the 14th day, I felt a massive shift of consciousness. I remember thinking that eating was weird, that the concept of eating was weird. And then on the 16th day, I needed to do a long trek, a long drive across, it was an 8-hour drive from Northern California to, anyway, it was a drive. And I thought, it was my monkey mind that said, you need to break your fast so you have energy. It was my monkey mind, because I could have done the whole thing. In retrospect, I look back on it, I could have done another 10 days. I mean, it was in water, But what's interesting is I remember doing an 11-day fast on water, and it is, and again, a consciousness shift where one day I was taking a walk on the 10th day, like I was at power walking every day, looking at the trees going, and it was a sacred geometry that was like forming over my visual cortex. It was weird. And everything looked glimmery and shimmery and moving. It was amazing. It was amazing. I started to see. Now, at the time when I did that fast, which was in 2014, I hadn't done Bufo, ayahuasca, or San Pedro. It was, now that I've done plant medicine, I look back on it and my pineal gland was being awakened through the fasting. So, but you can't work. The most days I've fasted working at a job was 5 days at the most. That's the most. But when you fast, like Dr. Braggs used to fast at his fasting cabin, he would do it every quarter for 10 days on water, distilled water. And he had a protocol. And you can look it up, Dr. Bragg's fasting book. So the fact that they're attacking somebody fasting is making me laugh, because I'm like, what are you afraid of? It's none of your fucking business, guys, fasting. It's just like ice, dumping yourself in ice, which they're calling the Wim Hof method. You're just giving credit to the guy who made it viral in the world. But this is a method that I experienced when I was going to school in south of France. We would go and run naked to this big pool of water and jump in and dunk to our heads. This is a protocol. It's ancient wisdom. It's ancient protocols. They're not new. No one's invented this. People used to do this all the time. And I think some of you know what I'm saying is true. So I guess the question is, what are they afraid of? That they're remembering, that we are remembering ancient wisdoms and bringing them back forth to the fore, and that we're reprogram our consciousness out of the 3D matrix grid, which is so clenched tightly into satellites and phones and computers and this and that. And the five, gonads, the five, you get my drift, the electrical energy that no one's talking about because no one's allowed to talk about it. It's interesting. We're awakening. 2025 is going to get even more intense in a beautiful way. Beautiful way. Don't get negative about it. Don't get scared. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to see shit being exposed. All the ugly shit is going to be exposed even further than now. And that's a good thing because now there's no denying it. This is in particular being done for the cynics in the back of the room. It's for the cynics, and I'll believe it when I see it. These closed-minded a-holes that just have laughed at you for believing in reincarnation, for believing in twin flames, for believing in Yeshua and Mary Magdalena's union, for believing in that Buddha walked, for believing in telepathy, telekinesis, transformable consciousness, transcendental thinking, vegetarianism for some of you. All of those people who laughed at that now are looking up at the sky going, what the fuck is real? And what is going on? The show is really for them. It's not for people like us. Because for people like us, we've had on a micro level some of these similar things. We've seen orbs, we've seen three-pointed flames, we've seen ghosts, we've seen shit and other things, and we've experienced incredible things. And we didn't have phone cameras in those days. Or it was happening in such a level that we were in awe, and it didn't occur to us to fucking start filming until it was too late. Or whatever the situation was. And we were laughed at. There was a book they're telling me to talk about called Communion. And this was a book written by a man, it was actually a bestseller, but in the 70s. And it was a book about a man who described how he was being, abducted through the Greys. Now we have a channel like Gaia, GAIA.com, that talks about this like the CNN delivers its news, meaning they are talking about everything I've just talked about and more in ways that are nonchalant and matter of fact, because it is. It is matter of fact. It is nonchalant. There's nothing to, oh my God, I'll see it when I believe it. It's not about that. These are really interesting, intelligent people, some of them with PhDs in science, just on the side note, who were never allowed to talk on Good Morning America or CNN or The View, all these shows that are still on for whatever reason, who are now able, they have a platform where they can talk to people like us who are listening and leaning in, who want to hear their wisdoms and their experiences and what they've seen and what they believe and what it means, like Greg Braden and other guys like that on that level, like Freddie Silva, like Graham Hancock, those guys. And so I urge you to go watch those channels, that particular channel and all of their little shows and all the series they've created. And they keep creating. There's yoga, there's breathing, there's meditations. There's all kinds of fabulous things on that channel. And at the brokest I was, the one thing I never gave up was that channel. And I would watch it on my phone. And so I urge you to get, subscribe to that channel. It's going to give you a lot of nectar, especially since they're going to actually remove TikTok. And many of you have learned massive shit on TikTok. So Gaia.com is going to be the fountain of knowledge for you. And that will be where you can go and get your fix and on higher knowledge. With me, follow me on YouTube if you want to continue. I've been kind of shy trying to do my live on YouTube, but I better just, do it and see what we can come up with. Probably tarot readings and so forth. Energy readings is what I'll probably do. And I can't wait for 2025. Thank you, Dragon. That's good to see. I can't either. Yes. Iris, welcome. So follow me on this channel and then go on my YouTube channel. It's the same handle. Reconnecting with Mother Earth as it was in the beginning. Exactly. It was never meant to be this bullshit system. Never. 1811 Mississippi flow backwards, never studied in history. I don't know what that is. That's interesting. 1811 Mississippi flow backwards, never studied in history. I don't know what that is, but that's intriguing. I'm going to do a screenshot and look it up. I'm going to look that up because I have no idea what that is, Fall Guy. But it sounds good, and I like your numbers, 1111 and 333. You don't fuck around. You don't want to miss any of your numbers. That's an interesting message, too. Any questions or comments? At all? Since I got a restriction. Again, I keep getting restrictions. I don't understand. So get excited. Get into your meditations. I had an amazing meditation, 30-minute meditation this morning. And I had an incredible cleansing ritual. I'm not going to get into it publicly. It's not what I'm going to do. I'm not here to entertain people with my own personal experience. It's not what I do. I'm very private. And I'm going to get serious about Patreon again. So if you want to follow me on Patreon, I think I'm going to open a section where it's free so that you can follow me there. And if you want more intense content, I'll have to start creating more on Patreon, obviously, more. And yeah, I think that's the place to go. Patreon, YouTube, Rumble. I've been talking about Rumble for a while. And it's not that I've been lazy. It's like I've been dealing with a lot of things. I've got chickens. It was 1 degree temperature yesterday. And we had to do something with the chicken coop. And it took me, I almost thought my fucking fingers were going to fall off. Because, you can't do shit like that with gloves. Like putting tarps and laying out straw and making sure that the chickens don't freeze to death. And this, that, and the other is happening. So it was kind of an exhausting day, and but beautiful day. Very, very. So yeah, living quasi off grid. We don't live off grid at all. Unfortunately, I wish I could do solar, but I can't because my roof is metal, and I would have to change the entire roof, which is a massive expense. So, but I'm trying to figure out what the universe wants from me right now, how it wants me to navigate the next 4 months. We'll see. There's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on in the wind, the skies, the etheric field, the electromagnetic field from planet Earth. It's really, I don't know how intense you guys are feeling things. They're not intense in a bad way. They're intense in a good way. You know what I mean? So let me feel it. Try to feel that direction. I'm seeing incredible souls just coming out of the woodwork like Hugo Hamlet. I've been following him, Hugo Hamlet. He's amazing. He's got blue wild hair. He's British with a suit usually on. He's a sweetheart. He's an amazing soul. And now I'm trying to figure out where Axel, whatever his name is, I totally forgot how to pronounce it. Pro-O's, I think. PR. Anyways, I reposted him. I reposted Hugo M. Hamlet as well. You can check out my reposts are trying to be more positive, more about animals, things like that. Why? Because we know the shit's happening. We know the unfairness of what's going on in the Middle East. We know it's all fucking bullshit. There's no fucking going back. The human rights at The Hague have decided and Bibi should not be free. There's all this shit going on. And for our consciousness to be in the right place, it's not that we're turning our back to say, kumbaya, I'm out of this energy. No, it's saying this is an emergency session with myself. I know these kumbaya, I'm out of this energy. No, it's saying this is an emergency session with myself. I know these people are going to visualize the new earth because that suffering ends. The new earth, the vibration of the new earth is it's stronger than the 1%'s matrix hold on the 3D. And everything is recalibrated to fairness. That's why, okay? Trust me. I'm fully aware of what's going on. It's right there, like a monkey on my back, realizing what's going on. Every day I'm aware of it. And every day I go into these meditations and I have to program, many of us are doing programming the grid to go and to launch us into 5D, so that fucking game over with the 3D matrix. And 5 years ago, if anyone had told you there would be drones and orbs in the sky, you would have said bullshit. I'll believe it when I see it. Well, there you go. The proof's in the pudding. There they are. Okay? So when I tell you we can go into 5D, it's time for you to stop your bullshit and believing it, because we're walking towards it. Many of us are running towards it. The gates have flung open. It's time for you to stop saying, I'll believe it when I see it, and start going within yourself and co-creating with the universe the very thing you want to experience for the entire planet. And the 1% will not be a match. That means they will be left behind in 3D. They want it, enjoy it. Does that make sense? This is why this is happening. These visuals. It's for those people. It's for you, even you that might have died in it. Now, well, maybe not in my lifetime. It'll be in 500 years. No, it's now. It's right now. That's what you need to. This is why this visual. We need the pony show, apparently. It wasn't enough for us to just believe it without having sightings of this, that, and the other. Now it's getting intense. Now they're just hovering. Now they're just hanging out going, okay, well, what are you guys going to do? You can't do shit for... And I really don't believe... I don't believe the drones are connected to the orbs. I think the drones are completely separate from the orbs. The orbs are the orbs. Plasmic, of course, but conscious. Now, there's a woman I follow. You may not like her. You may like her. It doesn't fucking matter to me. But her name is Christina Bruna. And I said that she drove all the way to New Jersey, where her friends had this orb sitting over their house for 2 days. And she said, I almost fell to... Well, she said I fell to my knees, actually. Not almost. She could feel the energy. So, why is TikTok banning these videos? Why are they removing? Why are we not allowed to use these words? We're not allowed to use... the word for being unalive. We can't use the word the only word we can use for a massive assault is grape, not, the actual word. But now we're not, how many words are going to take out of our English language? Our way of communicating. Are they forcing us to become telepathic and really badasses? Even more badass than we are? I'm asking questions here. Because the frustration of the TikTok ban is real. But if this is how they're going to play us, then, sorry, not sorry. Now, and though I'm going to lose like a huge amount of followers, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to communicate, but all 9 of you know I have a YouTube channel, but not more than that. I'm not kidding. And so I have to, and many of us are going to have to and I'm seeing people with 150,000 followers on TikTok who on YouTube have like 5,000 followers. That's a massive loss. So, if you love people and you're following them, go on their fucking profile and on their link tree and follow them on YouTube. You should do it. You should, whenever somebody you love is creating content, go on their link tree and follow them on YouTube. Okay, fuck Instagram, because that's a piece of shit that actually created this whole dynamic, to destroy Facebook, Instagram, to destroy our ability to have different platforms. Neptune is coming out. I've been talking about it. I don't know how long it'll take. But I was on one of her Discord lives where they talked. And yeah, there'll be freedom of speech to a point. To a point. So I'm not sure who's investing in that platform, but it's an American-based platform. I'm not sure how that's going to look. Will I join it? Yeah. And then I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket. Let's put it that way. Okay, after I heard, she sounds cool. I think she's got a good point. There's obviously they're not going to show really deviant shit, obviously, because some people's idea of free speech is bizarre. Racism will not be accepted. Well, no kidding. But how are they going to determine some of these other conversations we're having? That's my question. Is that going to be a free speech platform where we're allowed to talk about, what is happening with our governments? What is happening with spirituality, what we're seeing in the skies or on the ground or in the oceans, Are we going to be allowed to upload videos, or is it going to be different names, same bullshit? That's my question to that now, okay, after listening to her. So that's going to be a concern. Thank you. Thank you for the gift. I really appreciate it. And so does that make sense? So we've got a lot to do. If you're not pissing someone off, you're not doing it right. If you're not scaring the shit out of someone, you're not doing it right. Like this guy, Axel, walking barefoot from Spain to Pakistan, giving up his GQ lifestyle, with the yachts and the chicks and the whole thing. He's walking with his girlfriend, by the way. She's a petite little thing. She looks like she's about 4'11", if that, and 90 pounds, if that much. And they're both beautiful. They're like stunning, walking barefoot across the world, across those lands. I find it interesting. But that would scare people, because I saw locals interviewing them. There was a particular guy at a balcony, like almost like, I don't know, like uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. So we're going to, you, me, and others who are looking to create a community, looking to live a different lifestyle, we're going to make a lot of people uncomfortable, because we're making them on a subconscious level ashamed that they're clinging to the 3D lifestyle, this matrix idea that this is normal, because it's logical. Of course I want a Birkin bag and a Rolex watch, and I want to be on private jets while I talk about, saving the planet. Of course, So it's interesting, right? So if you're doing it right, you're going to make people uncomfortable, and you're going to be saddened because you're going to lose people who you thought were your friends or family members. You're going to lose them. Don't be in a place of despair when you lose them. Sit in meditation, calm your nervous system, calm your heart, and realize that they're not a match to where you're going. And so you have two choices. You regress your consciousness back to 3D to make everyone comfortable, or you let them go and you continue on your journey alone. Eventually, you will meet your tribe one by one. You will meet them. Trust me, you will. Okay? But you have to be from a place of being centered and realizing what this ascension really means and what it will look like for many of us. And your job is to stop being so shy and keep telling yourself that you're not ready to stand in your truth, and to do it even if you have to, trembling and a shaky voice. Call it, claim it, become it. And eventually all of the strength that you need, that you think you don't have, all the preparedness that you think you don't have, will be infused in every cell of your body and your consciousness, and so on and so forth, and you'll be fine. Okay? But as you progress, as you work on your chakras, as you work on yourself, guess what's going to happen? There will be a look in your eyes that will make people uncomfortable. Your presence will make people uncomfortable who are not a match to the high frequency. It doesn't make you better. It makes you more powerful, though. And they're still asleep, and they want to be there. And who are you to force them out of their caves of ignorance? Leave them in their caves of ignorance. Your job is to walk out of it and to make sure that you can help others with your particular talents and skill sets. You are needed. You have been given particular talents and skill sets that others will not have, and they will have particular talents and skill sets that you will need. So your frequency will magnetize these people to you. Trust me. Trust this. Maybe not me, but trust this. And you'll be fine. Okay? So the mantra I'm going to teach you, okay, when you're afraid, is going to be Om Namah Shivaya. Okay? So go ahead and say it so that your mouth, your throat chakra gets used to it. We're going to do it together. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Now you can chant that in your car. I chant Om Namah Shivaya in my car. If it's snowing and it's tough and I have to really focus, I chant this mantra because it's the remover of obstacles. The other one is Om Dom Durgaye Namaha. Om Dom Durgaye Namaha. Om Dom Durgaye Namaha. I mean, just have fun with it. Use these mantras to calm your nervous system, to relax your breathing, to slow down your heartbeat, to bring yourself into a place of alignment for your highest good in any situation. You can do it in your head. You can take a break from your job and go outside for like 5-10 minutes and chant. And get into the habit of making a mantra, one of these mantras, your ally, until the 1st of this year. After that, use and start adding more and more mantras to your filing system in your heart chakra, and pull them out when you need them. Okay? I have some mantras that I did, and you can check them out on my video over there on my TikTok. Okay? All right, my loves, sending you much love on this journey. 2025 is going to kick ass, and you are going to be a co-creator to the new earth. Okay? All right, much love. Namaste, be well.